Good afternoon, David Hinton, on my day 7 of my 90-day video Facebook live challenge that I undertook last Monday, day 7, Father's Day edition. Again, I'm covering the book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Chapter 6, the title is The 7 Slight Edge Principles. And being that this is Father's Day, these 7 slight edge principles would have made a wonderful speech when I was raising my kids, or if my dad would have given me this talk, this would have been a really good one, because there's some real weighty real life applications here, I think. So we've hammered the 7 slight edge principles. We've been hammering the easy to do actions, what did I write? Habits and routines, and how it makes all the difference. Well, what are those actual habits and activities? The first, number 1, show up. Hey, that's easy. Number 1 principle is to show up. He relates a story about how his daughter was entering the University of Florida as a freshman several years ago, and she was in a class with all these super high achievers, and everybody had a 4-point. There was like 400 people in this one class, and his advice to her was to show up every day. Show up to class, even when you don't feel like it. Show up. And the other was to study 2 hours a day. Well, within a very short period of time, this class with all these 4.0 students with 400 people in it, within a matter of weeks, even before the first exam, the class was down to 80 people. So literally 75% of the people had dropped out, while his daughter kept going and kept her good attitude about it, which, by the way, that is one of the principles. And being consistent. That is, in fact, the number 2 is be consistent. Okay? And on page 78 of Be Consistent, he says, showing up is important, but its natural companion, consistency, is what makes it powerful, makes it a powerful duo. Showing up consistently is where the magic happens. He gives an example of a baseball coach that he knew that had been coaching for quite a while, but the coach read the book and got his players to buy into the idea of showing up after practice, or staying after practice, and getting extra swings in. In fact, he wanted them to get 100 extra swings in the batting cage after practice every day. And extra swings, that extra 100 swings 5 days a week turned into 500 extra swings per player. And in the 10 months he had them, that was an extra 20,000 swings for just one player. And he got pretty much the whole team to buy into it. And this team that had not made the regionals in the NCAA in many, many years actually made it, because not only had the one player bought in, but basically the whole team. So being consistent, doing it every day, was the key that made that turned that team around. Number 3, have a good attitude. Longevity tied to attitude about life. Okay, so obviously we want to have a good attitude. Winston Churchill said attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Now, he relayed a story about a news organization was doing a story about the 25 longest living civilizations on Earth where people live well past 100, and all the various commonalities that could be, whether it be race or geography or DNA and genetics. He found that the number one characteristic, far greater than anything else, of those who lived over 100 was a positive outlook on life. Okay, so obviously we want to have a good attitude on life. He goes on to say, stay away from negativity. Those, they'll drag you down. Don't hang out with, as he put it, the cuckoos. Now, he did say, even those with the great attitude, that eventually everybody gets down from time to time. And what he said is, when you do get down, he put it as an embracing the funk. And his point was, we all every now and then do have times where we aren't as positive as others. But the main thing is, know it will pass. Cut yourself some slack, and before you know it, it will be past. Okay. He has a page where he talks about what he calls the happiness movement, and there's a book, several books out there, but one of them, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Achor, that studied happiness. And basically, what it boiled down to was this: that instead of "I'll be happy when," fill in the blank, whether it be "I will be happy when my career takes off, when I get married, when I lose 10 pounds, when I get stronger, when I get better, when I, right? What he found was, though, it was the people who were happy to begin with, then the results were much more likely to come. So if you are happy to begin with, you'll have a much better chance of achieving whatever it is that you are attempting to achieve. All right, number 4, be committed for a long time. Be committed for a long time. He references the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell that talks about the 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, to become truly world class. And basically his point is, and my point to you guys, is give yourself the grace and the time to learn and grow. Most of us will be around for a long time. Why not be in this constant, never-ending improvement for the long haul? Give yourself time to get better. I've been guilty of wanting to be better and not getting better immediately. So, well, if I can't be better immediately, well, then that's to heck with it. But that's no way to do it. Number 5, have faith and a burning desire. He uses the famous quote from Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. There are going to be all types of obstacles placed in front of you during your lifetime, and you can determine the size of a person by the size of the problem that keeps them down. Successful people look at a problem and see an opportunity. You got to really want to you got to really want to get where you're going, and you have to believe you're going to get there. Otherwise, you'll quit because, hey, it doesn't really matter. And you really didn't want to get there that much anyway. So clearly, you've got to want what you want bad enough, and you have to truly, truly believe that you will get it. Otherwise, you will quit. You will. I've done it. But you know what? Not doing it anymore. Not right now. Okay? You got to be willing to pay the price. Number 6 is you got to be willing to pay the price. Anything worth having is worth working and paying a price for. That's the price of entry. And if you're not willing to pay the price for whatever it is you want, the price of neglect is far worse than the price of commitment. He says, years ago it hit me that if I didn't choose to do something to become successful, I was going to become unsuccessful for the rest of my life. Think about that. If you don't figure out something to be successful at, you have to be unsuccessful at it for the rest of your life. In other words, the price of neglect is pretty brutal. The price of committing to something, showing up consistently with a good attitude over a long period of time, while having faith and a burning desire and being willing to pay the price, is far easier than the true price of neglect. But there is a price that you are going to pay. And number 7, practice slight edge integrity. And here's what that is. Here's his definition. There are many definitions of integrity, but the one most applicable to the slight edge is what you do when no one is watching, and that is what I call slight edge integrity. It is also doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. Again, even when no one is watching, and no one will fault you for slacking on what you promised, you'll know, and you and I have to look ourselves in the mirror with that knowledge. So there you go. Those are the 7 principles of the slight edge. That is enough to make your head explode, isn't it? And I'm sure your father or your grandfather, or maybe your grandmother, your mother, somebody somewhere along the line gave you this exact sort of advice. And here I am giving whoever's watching this the Jeff Olson version, and I'm trying to adopt it as my version. I believe I have lived my life by a lot of these principles. Some of them I have slacked on, and I've paid dearly for it. But you know what? Like I said, we've got today, and we got tomorrow, which is tomorrow's today, and we can keep at this. I plan on being around a long time. So there you go. I'm so dang serious. It's just crazy. But I'm also have fun. Have fun. And I hope all those dads out there, y'all have a great day, and know that y'all are special. And my kids let me know I'm special. I got a card for my daughter, and it was pretty hysterical. That if you knew Julie, you'd know what I'm talking about. So anyway, another story. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It'll be in the morning, though, not in the afternoon. Have a great day.